Pockmarked Travesty. It isn't yourself. You what? It isn't, you fool. It's if it isn't yourself. Go on then. What? Well, if it isn't yourself, well, who the... Catch yourself on. Two? You're not from around here. I'm here, ain't I? Yeah, but you're not from around here. I am if you say so. Twisty little fella, ain't you? Saying I'm not the straight fella. Like to read into things, don't you? O'Flaherty sighed. This was a fella that could put lines on your face. Buy that hat yourself, said the other fella. O'Flaherty didn't know his actual name. He went by the moniker of Ladyboy, for no obvious reason. Do you mean the hat upon my head? Are you referring to the type of behaviour I'm engaging in? Well, now, it'd be that hat upon your head, the fake trilby, said Ladyboy. Ain't nothing fake about it. It's a hat. It's pretending to be a trilby. So it isn't a hat? Not the one it pretends to be. But it is a hat. Yes, it fits. I'll say it does. Keep much under there? These hanging phrases weren't the currency O'Flaherty was interested in. It was time for business. What paper is she looking for? Shall I tell you? Would be a good start. Well now. O'Flaherty noticed that Ladyboy was edging towards the canal. It wasn't that he was avoiding eye contact. He was weakening O'Flaherty's. Well, what it is... Ladyboy paused, raised a hand and gestured like a mini karate chop. He accompanied this with silence, nodding and shaking his head as if great points were being made. O'Flaherty was happy enough to let him dance. The black waters of the canal were eyes enough upon him, and Ladyboy would get to it eventually. There were many reasons for wanting a new identity. It wasn't just the illegals. They were crims, victims, perverts, mentals, alkies, druggies, prostitutes. They all had their reasons to disappear, and nearly all of them wanted to offload their own lives on him first. Ladyboy gestured to the town that cluttered the hillside. Fucking pockmarked travesty! O'Flaherty nodded. He didn't know what Ladyboy was saying, but his shiftiness seemed to be draining as he talked. Cut to it, fella. I ain't got all day, said O'Flaherty. You want new numbers, social and the like? Not much like that. What then? You're a man who erases and invents. You do the erasing, I do the inventing. You rewrite the lives of others. If that's how you want to see it, said O'Flaherty, write mine. Say what? What? Don't be a fuck. What are you saying? Write me. With words, it's how it's done. What the hell are you talking up, Ladyboy? I'm an identity man. Passports, social numbers, medical files. I reinvent the dead and bury the living. You want someone to write about you? Get your mug in the papers. You're not getting me. I can't imagine many do. You're the human architect. I know of you, O'Flaherty. I've seen refugees coming back into town, seen the look in their eyes, that little something. Not just names, papers. There's more than that. You got the touch, ain't you? Nothing more poisonous than praise to a man, thought O'Flaherty. Who are you working for, Ladyboy? Only the margins, O'Flaherty. I'm interested in the seams and those that make them seem not as such. You're a tricky fella, and I've seen it from the start. I'll be taking my leave. Men like you don't take leave. That's why you're the man you are. Look at the town over there. Think of the traditions coating its streets. Think, O'Flaherty, of the identities we get draped in. The old flag, spirit of the Irish, old sod in its ways. Then think of the stakes you play. You're the interrupter, the scratch and remixer, eh? Who raises the dead but God above us? O'Flaherty does, aye. No man like him. You want some fucking scene too, Ladyboy? Aye, I do, through your eyes, O'Flaherty. You be the man that sees. Not the priests in the church, the overworked doctors, the scantily mad artists. Not the songs they would have us sing, the raise up your pints and cry into the night. But you, O'Flaherty, you alone thought like Christ. Had the dare, didn't you? O'Flaherty knew part of himself was eager to hear this. What he didn't know was why Ladyboy was speculating on it. You got the interest riding in me, Ladyboy. but a player like you don't need much changing. Your only fixed part is your slippery self. Well, now, that might be a truth, but I think the sun has long dawned on you that we should not be so limited. Somewhere out there, O'Flaherty, a great me exists. Does it now? Sure. Ladyboy flicked his hair as if it was long. It wasn't. It was tight cut and immobile. Do you know how I got here? Said Ladyboy. I don't. Cold I was, thrown like a small rag into the coarse hands of the orphanage. My mother... Oh, Jesus, thought O'Flaherty. Here we go. I should have brought myself a deck chair. Not so interested, are you, O'Flaherty? You do a lot of gash flapping, Ladyboy. Men like me, as you say, don't put too much credit in what's been. Save your breath. I'll give you that advice for free. The past counts for little. I see it. They see it. They? Sure, you think the grey administrators underestimate the power of naming, detailing, and labelling? You'll be surprised how easily people forget who they've been. Identity and fear are easily linked. Tipping the hat, are you, O'Flaherty? Remember, mine's a fake, as you said. Ladyboy had now turned almost in a circle and was behind O'Flaherty. It crossed O'Flaherty's mind that he might get a shank in the back. Listen, Ladyboy, get it straight if you can. You wanted papers? I'm here. You're not so clear in the hearing, O'Flaherty. I want you to rewrite me. It's not papers I'm needing. We're talking deeper than that. Ladyboy was wringing his hands now. Here it comes, thought O'Flaherty. It's my name, see, said Ladyboy. I crossed my mind. Well, here, you're a mannish type fella. Now, where the fuck was this going? Every time O'Flaherty thought he'd have fixed the Ladyboy, he went off on another tangent. Spit it out, Ladyboy. You know about the women, the lassies, as they say. You're getting one last chance, Ladyboy, or I'm for the walking. Ladyboy looked O'Flaherty straight in the eye. I want to be a mother. You're a fruitcake, Ladyboy. Get the hell out of my way and to blazes with you. Stick with me now, O'Flaherty. I'm giving you the process here. You want to be a woman? Be a woman. Don't be bothering me. I don't want to be a woman. I want to be a mother. What the hell's with you? Don't you think mothers are women? No. No? What's wrong with you? It's not the obvious I'm after, O'Flaherty. You should know that. It's not the dead you raise, is it? It's the effects of the dead. That which transfers. We all hear tell in the town of what you take from the canal waters. Is that so? They talked, but they didn't know. How could they? O'Flaherty himself wasn't sure whether it came from the waters or his own heart. Nevertheless, at the point an identity was to be chosen, finality arrived, its pen dripping with an ink that sealed a fate forever. O'Flaherty stared at his reflection in the water, seeing himself clearer than ever before. On the surface, a man, but beneath he was ragtag, made out of sacred stick and fabric, like a scarecrow in the field of Irish lore. He was a force, ancient and ruined, but from time to time he was dragged from the bogs to play his part. Today it was to be written for Ladyboy. Oh yes, and it seemed that many from below wanted a piece of that one. Looming up from the canal waters, 20,000 famine victims lined up, eyes black and long, hollow tombs filled with 1,000 speeches. No flag waving was going to help them, no national identity. It was something more, a call to the mother, she of strong and silent ways that lay upon the land, she that shaped wild glens, dressed the mountainsides with bracken, she that lay too long with fevered brow to give birth to something other than a tempered state, than a land awash with scorn and waste, and fathers dipped in materialism and drunken will. God damn it, Ladyboy, if you haven't picked up something. But he wasn't Ladyboy anymore, a strange, shrouded figure reflected in the waters beside O'Flaherty. She almost set the fear running in him as her mouth opened, and from deep beyond a voice, stark with terror, yet kind. It filed past O'Flaherty's thought, slipped beneath his apprehensions, cutting him loose as easily as the boats that set sail across the wild Atlantic, those famine ships scorched with curses, trailing ropes as long as scars, till anchors fell deep to graves, clattering amongst the bones and screams. O'Flaherty dropped down to the darkness. He awoke, still by the canal, and presumably not dead. Lady Boy was nowhere to be seen, which might have been a blessing, as O'Flaherty wasn't too sure he was ready to see him. He'd either underestimated Lady Boy or underestimated himself. Either way, the identity business was not one he was willing to remain in. Of course, what lay out there in the advancing dusk may not be what once had been. O'Flaherty picked up his hat, the fake trilby, tilted it on his head, and set off with a jaunt for the pockmarked travesty of a town that lay before him. Thank you.